Noah Lyles heading into his favorite race at World Championships, the 200. I don't plan to lose. Tokyo, AP. Noah Lyles had a simple message about his favorite race, the 200 meters. I don't plan to lose, he said. Anyone who calls that brash, arrogant, or unsportsmanlike would fit right in with the sprinters trying to prove him wrong at World Championships this week. There have been a lot of chirping, some shoving, and at least one not well-received glare over the past year in sprinting's longer and sometimes less appreciated race. The 200 meters have become a three-man drama between Lyles, the three-time defending world champion, along with his American counterpart Kenny Bednarik and Olympic champion Letsile Tebogo. Opening heats for the 200 start Wednesday, with the title being settled Friday. Though all three runners were in the 100, it's the 200 that's their specialty, and that has overtaken the shorter race as the marquee sprint of these worlds, and maybe the next ones in the Los Angeles Olympics too. Sports breeds tension. It breeds competitiveness. Lyles said, if there's only one goal and multiple people, you can't be all nice and smiling and say, yeah, I'm okay with somebody else winning. No, that's not how it goes. A glare and a shove. Lyles and Bednarik made headlines last month when Lyles stared down his rival as he passed him at the end of the 200-meter title race at U.S. Championships. Then Bednarik responded by giving him a two-handed shove. Unsportsmanlike expletive. And I don't deal with that, Bednarik explained in the heat of the moment after the race. The racer nicknamed Kung Fu Kenny also explained that he took issue with Lyles' preening when he hadn't run to the rounds in the 100 the way Bednarik had. A respect factor, Bednarik called it, then reminded everyone that he had beaten Lyles at the last two Olympics. They finished 2-3 in both. And next time we line up, I'm going to win. A brief moment in the interview area after an early heat in this week's 100 stood out. Lyles was talking with reporters while Bednarik breezed behind him. Good job, bro, Lyles said as he turned around and quickly slapped hands with Bednarik. They are expected on the U.S. relay team later this week, so there's certainly some benefit to building chemistry in a race where the American men are sometimes a disaster. But that tension has been the talk of the meet, so much so that even Usain Bolt fielded a question about trash talk early in the week. I don't think Noah's as crazy as dealing with Justin Gatlin, the American who pushed Bolt the furthest over the years, he said. I think Gatlin, over the years, was a different breed because he came up in an era where trash talk was just normal. For me, it wasn't really an issue. I know when I'm prepared, and you could say whatever you want and it would never be a problem. A surprise winner from Botswana who stays under the radar. The third runner in this drama is Tebogo, a surprise winner at last year's Olympics in a race Lyles ran despite being afflicted with COVID. Tebogo was asked after that race if he could see himself as a front man for track and field. He said he probably couldn't because he wasn't an arrogant or loud person like Noah. He later clarified, saying he and Lyles were friendly off the track, but when you get onto the track, it's all about business. Earlier in these championships, when asked about the relationship with Lyles, Tebogo said he preferred to stay out of the spotlight and let my legs do the talking, regarding a widely held sentiment from that race, that Lyles would have coasted to victory had he been healthy. There is this. Tebogo won in 19.46, which was faster than Lyles' run since 2022 when he clocked 19.31 to beat Michael Johnson's 26-year-old American record. Lyles, my 100 doesn't always translate into my 200. All three sprinters were involved in the 100-meter final. Only Lyles ended up with a medal, a bronze after taking gold at the Olympics and the World Championships before it. Bednarik finished fourth. Tebogo, not a favorite by any means, was disqualified after a false start. And who knows if that one fewer race will play a factor in the split seconds that will decide Friday's final. Lyles mentioned a scenario he was asked about recently. Would he take some other color than gold in the 100 in exchange for a world record in the 200? I said, I think I might take the two, Lyles said. Half of that comment has already come true. It's hard to imagine Lyles, who got a late start in training this year because of foot injury, will put Bolt's 19.19 in jeopardy over the next 3 days of racing at Tokyo National Stadium. But he says his 100 and 200 don't always correlate. Also, Lyles, very much like Bolt before him, One said he considers the 200 his wife and the 100 more like his mistress. The American had 3 world titles in this race, though, as Bednarik took pleasure in reminding everyone, those bronze medals from the last 2 Olympics, the first of which came 4 years ago in Tokyo, will always be part of his resume. Usually when I have my best 200 years, my hundreds aren't as fast. Lyles said, there's a lot of excitement going on in the 200. Obviously, I have the energy. Obviously, I have the motivation. I plan to go out there in full force and jump off the cliff, so to say, with all the enthusiasm in this race. The World Athletics Championships are never short on drama, but every edition seems to find its heartbeat in the 200 meters. The event is part sprint, part art form, a brutal test of speed and stamina wrapped in a single half lap. And this year, one man enters with a singular mission, a familiar swagger, and a promise to himself and the world. Noah Lyles. I don't plan to lose. That simple phrase, delivered with calm certainty, has lit up headlines and filled conversations across the athletics community. For Lyles, it isn't arrogance. It's a declaration rooted in years of dominance, meticulous preparation, and an unwavering belief that the 200M belongs to him. The 200M, a sprinter's playground. Every sprinter has their signature race, the distance where their talent feels most at home. For Lyles, the 200M has always been that sanctuary. While others have found glory in the 100-meter dash, battling over 10 seconds of fury, Lyles thrives on the extended canvas of the curve and straight. Why? Because the 200M rewards rhythm. It demands grace on the bend, relaxation under pressure, and the ability to sustain blistering speed beyond a point where others fade. It is, in many ways, the most artistic of the sprints. Lyles runs like a painter uses a brush. Smooth strokes, fearless flourishes, and a flair for the dramatic. His resume proves it. World champion, American record holder, and consistent breaker of the 20-second barrier, Lyles has not only dominated the 200, but redefined it for a new generation. The confidence factor. When Lyles says, I don't plan to lose, it carries weight. This is not an idle boast. It's the mindset of a man who has spent years visualizing victories before they happen. He's candid about his approach. The visualization, the mental rehearsal, the way he enters a race already convinced of the outcome. Some critics dismiss it as bravado. But time after time, Lyles has stepped on the track and backed up his words with performances that leave doubters silent. In his mind, the race is already won before the gun goes off. The rest is execution. Rivals in the mix. Of course, championships are not won by confidence alone.